brother.
Big brother.
Big brother?
Big brother.
The big brother.
Big brother.
Big brother.
Big brother.
Big brother.
What you didn't see.
Hey everyone, Dylan James here, back with another episode of Big Brother 18, What You Didn't See Week 3. This episode is going to be a slightly different format. I'm going to be giving a very brief synopsis on what's happening on the live feeds. After, I'm going to go through each and every house guest still left in the house and tell you what's happening with them individually. First things first, it's week 3 and not a single vet has seen the block. It's actually quite impressive. Bridget won the veto, it was some mental memorization competition, and Tiffany is still the target. The Spy Girls wanted to try and get Paul out this week, but since they don't have the votes at all, they're just gonna let the week play out as is. Those who are against Frank are complacent with Tiffany going home this week and are just gonna conspire against him next week. With winning the veto competition, Bridget earned herself a reward where she got to choose Big Sister to join her team in an Outback steak dinner. Those involved got super drunk and caused quite the scene. Nothing too crazy, but mostly just some drunken banter. On to the cast. Bronte is in a little bit of a tough position. She's on the top of the 8 packs target list. However, lucky for her, the 8 pack has been imploding all week. If she can keep her head down and start forming relationships with people other than Bridget and Natalie, she can coast for the next little while. Her game strategy right now is to just make it to jury, solely so she can have the opportunity to vote for a woman to win in the end. This is what she wants, to be evicted into jury so she can vote for a woman to win. Hey Bronte, I'm into it. Bronte, Bridget, and Natalie were all sitting up in the HOH room, and I guess Bronte decided this was the perfect opportunity to show her true trust to the Spy Girls. A teary-eyed Bronte revealed to the Spy Girls that she's actually the secret nerd of the house, and that she's an aspiring mathematician who wants to work for the CIA in math security. The other girls freaked out like this was like the most craziest news ever. Natalie even called her Tomb Raider. Watch out, Laura Croft. This caused like a chain reaction of confessions where Natalie confessed she's an ex-NFL cheerleader and Bridget confessed that her husband is in fact not a yoga teacher, but a doctor. Bronte is itching to get into her power position because she's been on the defense for the entirety of this game. I feel like Bronte is one of the only people in the house who would make a bold move like putting up Frank versus Polly or Polly versus Corey if she won HOH in these next coming weeks. Bronte told Natalie and Bridget that the veto should not be used on her, as she does not want to see Natalie go up in her place. Natalie then begs Bronte to allow Bridget to use the veto on her as she's fine with going up. Girls. Bridget's going to come out of this week looking pretty good. She won both HOH and veto, and Frank is going to be the one with all the blood on his hands. The whole house believes that this was just Frank's HOH, and Bridget has just been his puppet. Frank is taking Bridget under his wing and has actually said to other house guests that he would like to take Bridget further than Michelle. Polly says he wants to take Bridget first out of the Spy Girls because she can win both mental and physical comps. When Frank celebrated Bridget's veto win, apparently he got a little rough with her, and when she landed, she sprained her ankle, and now she's been on crutches. Of the Spy Girls, Natalie is probably in the best position, as she has like 0 enemies and nobody's targeting her. Her flirtmance/showmance with James has been getting stronger and stronger, and I actually kind of feel like her feelings are genuine. She seems to keep a lot of information to herself, and looks to have a good finger on the pulse of the house. The longer you keep her in this game, the more dangerous she becomes. Natalie hinted to James that someone else in this house is good at math, but she didn't say who. Like it matters. Natalie told Bronte that there might be other siblings on the show and not just me, Polly, and Tiff. Now, I'm not sure if I heard her correctly, but that's what I heard. Who could she be related to? Caitlyn? Jessie? Jessica? Diane? Paul has really impressed me over the last 2 weeks. He knew when to jump ship with Victor and played out last week perfectly. He seems to have taken a page out of the Spencer Clausen from BB15's handbook, as he's going to be a pawn throughout this entire game. Spencer was put on the block 9 times. He made it to Final 3 and was in a winning position at the end of the game. Paul is starting to build more relationships and he's not nearly as abrasive and annoying as he was in the first week. Paul is also denying his vote to save Victor last week. I don't know why, but people believe him. He seems to be learning the game and picking things up as he goes. Like Natalie, he could be very dangerous the longer you keep him in here. If the girls were smart, they'd take Paul out now and keep Tiffany to go after Frank. Nobody wants Paul out. They want him on the block, but they don't want him out. He's also getting a lot closer to Polly, and someone's putting condoms in his bed. Tiffany, Tiffany, Tiffany. I had very high hopes for her, and she's kind of letting me down. It's not even 100% her fault. She's being blamed for being paranoid and stressed out when she's actually probably been the most calm this entire week. Everyone has just kind of put a label on her as emotional and unstable and paranoid just because of her sister. She's been on the major defense this entire game, and it seems like no matter what she does, the target just stays on her. She hasn't backstabbed anyone in her alliance while her whole alliance has backstabbed her. She has not played a great game by any means, but she hasn't done anything explicitly wrong to get her evicted. She didn't do the best job at forming relationships, and she stays in bed a lot of the day. Personally, I'm just hoping she wins the battle back competition and a fire is lit under her as she's entered back into the house. Tiffany is kind of confused as to why she's been put on the block. She knows Frank's behind it, but she doesn't even know she's going home. Tiffany mentioned that she was actually supposed to be on The Amazing Race, but they used her for this season of Big Brother instead. Sorry, Tiffany, but I think The Amazing Race might have worked out better for you. Frank has been consistently digging his Big Brother grave out these past 2 weeks. With his sexist comments towards women and making people feel uncomfortable in the house, he's put himself in a very bad position. Polly manned up and let Frank know that he was making the women in the house feel uncomfortable. Frank's reaction seemed to be like genuine confusion. I guess being raised by a professional wrestler who's a villain his entire life will kind of have that effect on you. I can kind of understand that this is just the way he is. It doesn't make it right, but it makes it understandable, and I don't think he's acting out of any sort of malice in any sort of way. Just like in Big Brother 14, it looks like the whole house is against him and he's gonna have to win his way to the end. The only difference is that this time, in this house, he is blissfully unaware of how much of a target he truly is. Frank told Michelle that he would cut her before Bridget. He then said he was joking, but she really does need to step her game up. Frank thinks Michelle was the stray vote to keep Victor. Frank was talking to the cameras and said that his game is all over the place and that he has too many alliances with the 8-pack and Polly and the Spy Girls and Paul. He even said that he doesn't even know where his own true loyalties lie. He said that he's in a much better spot than he was in his last season because the whole house isn't targeting him. Don't count your chickens, Frank. He's playing really sloppy. He's telling the people who are conspiring against him his target list, and they're spreading that around the entire house. While drunk, Frank told an equally drunk Bridget that he won roadkill 2 times and that he even put her on the block. Then, Bridget goes to thank him. These people. Frank's days are numbered. Polly has positioned himself pretty well in the house. Only people coming after him are the Spy Girls and Devon, and not immediately. He has used the first few weeks to start forming strong relationships. He was on the outside of the 8-pack and found that information out, and instead of getting paranoid and freak out, he used that information to integrate himself with the group and is now good with everybody and that alliance. Frank and Polly discuss about what they want to do further down the road. They want to take out Bronte so then that James could take Natalie, Frank could take Bridget, and Polly could take Paul and use that to their advantage. They then talk about trimming the fat, like getting rid of Michelle or putting Day up if they have the chance. Polly warns Paul to watch out for Frank because he's making a bunch of different alliances in the house. He then warns Paul that Frank was behind putting him up every single week. James is playing the same way as he always does, which doesn't consist of much game at all. His relationship with Natalie seems genuine, but I feel like he's just gonna get lost in it all. He's still pulling pranks all over the house. James told Natalie who won the roadkill competition as a test of trust, and well, so far so good. James informs Michelle that Frank wants her out. Michelle is very confused as to why, and then tells James that Frank wants Devon out, and Devon knows about it. A lot of small alliances are being formed all over the house, and James isn't really included in any of them. Now, I don't have much to say about Zakiya, and that's probably a good thing for her. Nobody is really targeting her, and she can easily coast for the next few weeks. She was close with Jose and Paul in the first week, but she knew to jump ship from them, and now she's put herself in the majority alliance and is on nobody's radar. Corey is also in a decent position. Nobody is truly threatened by him except for the Spy Girls, and well, they're threatened by every guy. Corey is getting closer and closer to Nicole, and you can tell he kind of likes her, with a possible true showmance blooming. He is getting pretty close with Polly, and they seem to tell each other almost everything. They're even conspiring together against Frank. I'm not sure yet if Corey has a mind of his own or is just following what Nicole and Polly say. Devon mentioned getting him out to get closer to Nicole. Nicole has positioned herself pretty well, arguably the best in the house. She's in the majority, she's friends with everyone, and her name isn't being tossed around at all. Her downfall would have to be Corey. If she catches feelings for him, she could turn a blind eye to a massive power shift in the house. Nicole does not trust Devon and thinks that Devon will turn her back on them. Nicole also mentioned that it may not be wise to take out Tiffany this week, as Frank could switch sides and mess up their numbers advantage. Michelle is also in a decent position to go far. She is playing a super under the radar game. She is no threat to anybody at the moment, aside from maybe Bridget. Michelle has this ridiculous vendetta against Bridget that doesn't even make sense. Weeks ago, when Michelle fainted in the first roadkill competition, apparently Bridget made some comment about shaving off Michelle's eyebrows while she was unconscious. Zakiya relayed this information to Michelle, and ever since then, Michelle has had an unhealthy hatred towards Bridget. Bridget doesn't even remember saying it and says that she would never say something like that and actually really likes Michelle. Michelle seems to be jealous of Bridget because Bridget's now Frank's number one, and now Michelle wants Bridget and Frank out. Devon, what the heck are you doing? The whole reason the 8-pack is split up is because of you. She's the one who's been planting seeds of doubt throughout the entire alliance. She's been going crazy. One second she wants Tiffany out, and the next second she wants Tiffany to stay to take out Frank. At this point, I think Devon has successfully turned the entire house against Frank, while throwing her entire game out the window in the process. She wants to get Polly out to keep Zakiya close, she wants to get Corey out to keep Nicole close, and she wants to keep James in the know so she can have him in her back pocket. She is playing too hard, too fast, and it will blow up in her face soon enough. The majority of the house knows what she's up to, and it's only a matter of time. That's all I have for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've made it this far, scroll on down to that like button and make it turn blue, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week.
Big brother. Big brother. Big brother. Big brother.
The big brother.
Big brother. Big brother. Big brother.
Big brother.
What you didn't see.